A vulture suddenly swooped down on the boy, sinking its beak straight into his mouth. He jolted awake from the searing pain, raised his hand, and smashed the bird dead before flinging it away. Glancing downward, he discovered that he was trapped on a rock face. Panicked, he shouted for help, but his cries echoed unanswered. He knew if he stayed put, he'd meet certain death. So he had no choice but to drag his battered, wounded body and attempt to climb slowly downward. But just as he reached up to grab a stone handhold above, his foot suddenly slipped, and he nearly plummeted. Luckily, he grabbed the rock face in time to stop himself falling, though now he was left hanging helplessly in midair. To make matters worse, dark clouds rolled in overhead, and seconds later, rain cascaded down like a waterfall. Yet the boy's resilience was extraordinary. He clung on through wind and downpour, enduring 8 grueling hours. When he next peered at the valley floor, the water had risen so dramatically it now resembled a rushing river. That's when he made a truly audacious choice. When he came to again, he was out of immediate danger. But the moment he tried to move, a sharp burning pain shot through his foot. Gritting his teeth against the agony, he dragged himself laboriously over to a muddy puddle, then lowered his head and began drinking. He was so desperately thirsty he didn't care how filthy the water was. He just gulped it down in great greedy mouthfuls. Once he'd quenched his thirst, he pulled off his boot. His right foot was swollen to twice its normal size, but he didn't hesitate. He fetched 2 stones and clamped his foot between them, then bit down hard and, with a sickening crack, forced the broken bone back into place. Then he scavenged some sticks to splint his ankle, fashioning a rough but sturdy brace. After a brief rest, he set off, staggering for miles until he finally reached the top of the cliff. There at the edge, he found a tombstone, erected by his father in his memory. His father was the tribe's chief. After he'd fallen that day, everyone had assumed he was dead. Everyone except his father, who'd stood at the cliff edge, calling his name all night long. But he'd had no choice but to lead the tribe back. There were women and children in the tribe who needed his protection. In that moment, the boy could no longer contain his grief. Furious, he kicked the tombstone repeatedly until it toppled over. Then he collapsed to the ground, sobbing uncontrollably in